settle for boring. When you can feast with the nectar of the gods. You'll always have a seat at Norse Hall.
Welcome everybody to Top Dog Coverage. It's your boy Dirty with your boy C-Dub, and today we're going to be talking about Week 6 reactions. There were some wild things going on at Week 6, starting from Thursday all the way through to, all the way through to Monday night.
Both doubleheader or Monday night. Yeah.
So it's
one third of the way done.
Yeah. What mic do you have on?
The one right in front of my face.
Okay. All right, just checking. We always have technical. We obviously, you guys see we have a new setup here. Okay, I got another camera. C-Dub got another camera. So we're still trying to work out the technical difficulties. When you peaked a little bit, or when you spoke it muffled a little bit.
Am I good now?
Yeah, you sound clear right now. I think when you hit those, when you get excited. You know what I mean? Like when you're about to get a treat or something.
All right, I'll just go monotone, no excitement. Like it's just barely a warm body right here.
I'll let you. Damn, on the way to the funeral home, huh?
No emotion.
Well, if you guys have not yet, follow us at Top Dog Coverage on YouTube, on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget to hit the like button. Leave some comments for us. Let us know what you guys think. Check out some posts on YouTube. We put up a bunch of different posts. We're getting a bunch of voting on that. And we are moving along pretty quickly. So we have closing in fast at 250 subscribers. So if you haven't yet, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you like it, you share it, you comment on it, do whatever it is, and put on that little bell. Put on that notification. You know why? Because that notification lets you know when we put something new out. And we're always putting new stuff out, and we are going to be doing that more regularly. So let's see what we can do today with our Week 6 reactions. But before that, there's a little news to talk about. Is there not, C-Dub?
There's a thing or two.
There's a thing or two. Well, let's talk a thing or two about a thing or two. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. Time for the news. Sorry.
Wow.
Okay.
Right.
This happens when you play the air guitar. You get distracted with things. Yeah.
I think that's just you in general.
That probably is, yeah. It's I was told, actually, I had a podcast over the weekend before we started. I was told that I am the guy that is not afraid to say what people are afraid to say. Or I am not afraid to say something out of the ordinary that will just make everybody like wait, why do you say that? Like, if you don't know me, I'll just say
people going.
Weird. Yeah. But do you want to start us off with the over there in Nashville?
Yeah, so we'll go to the Tennessee Titans. The Titans have fired head coach Brian Callahan. So the first head coaching change of the 2025 season has been made. Brian Callahan is out as the Titans coach. The team announced on Monday. So the team put out a statement. After extended conversations with our owner and general manager, we met with Brian Callahan this morning to tell him we are making a change at head coach. A statement from President of Football Operations, Chad Brinker, reads in part, "We are grateful for Brian's investment in the Titans and Tennessee community during his tenure as head coach. We thank him and his family for being exemplary ambassadors of the Tennessee Titans. So, I mean, Brian Callahan, he's had a pretty good career. He's been with the Bengals, I believe the Rams, and a couple other teams. So it's tough that it didn't work out in Tennessee, but man, that was just some bad operations, bad football over there. So hopefully we can get somebody in to help out number one pick, Cam Ward, and get this offense going.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what they're looking for. He was the leader of that team, and now a new leader has to step up and see what they can do with all the pieces that they have. So
yeah, before we move on to the next piece of news, like what's your viewpoint of this job? Like what do you think of the Tennessee Titans with their roster, ownership?
I mean, that's a real hard spot to go to, because you get this kid in here, he just gets a hold of training camp and the first 6 weeks with this head coach, and then they get rid of the head coach. You're already making this kid, what if this new guy brings in a whole different system? I mean, probably not. They'll probably keep what they have right now.
Maybe you should, because their offense was atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is like a whole new, like, I guess like a whole new flip over. You know what I mean? That'll be really hard to learn during the season. A completely different offense. I mean, but to switch things up, it's got to be hard for a rookie. He's already learning so much, and he's already trying to put two and two together. And now it's just like, oh, we have a new commander in chief. I mean, I think they should probably go for an offensive minded person, and that's what I think. But
yeah, I guess my question more so is, do you think it's like an exciting job? Like, do you think somebody would want to go there to coach Cam Ward and try to change the misfortunes of this team?
Yeah, I think somebody would, because I don't think that there's just a few people out there that thought Cam should be number one picked overall, and I think that there's somebody out there that's excited about interviewing for that job, specifically knowing that they can mold this kid into what they want him to be. So I think there is some excitement to want to get that job down in Nashville.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with you. I think Cam Ward being there does make it a valuable job. I mean, you got the quarterback in place. Now you just need to add some more weapons around him. I mean, they've been put a lot of investments in the offensive line over the last couple of years, so it's time to invest in that defense and some weapons. The fun stuff.
Gotta see where it goes. I mean, see if they're gonna let him let loose, or more conservative, or what have you. But you're also missing Ridley. Ridley's he went out half the game, and he'll probably be out a little bit longer, but they haven't diagnosed him yet, so it's a big hit. But another big hit is over in San Francisco. The 49ers have been ravaged by injury throughout this young season, but they have taken their biggest hit on Sunday, according to Diana Rossini. Fred Warner has been diagnosed with a dislocated ankle and a broken ankle. Okay, and we'll meet with the doctors to determine his exact prognosis. But given the nature of the injury, it has the potential to be season-ending, which it is. And according to Mike Garafolo, Kyle Shanahan did reveal that it was both, and quickly followed the report confirming that he's going to require surgery and the injury will be season ending. So we saw the Buccaneers wide receiver Chris Godwin suffer the ankle injury and the dislocation about a week later into the season last year. And though he had the intentions to be ready for the postseasons after undergoing surgery, he didn't play another snap that season. Godwin then needed a second procedure on his ankle that held him out for the full offseason training camp in the first 3 weeks of this year. So obviously, we can't project this onto Warner, whose details are not known like fully yet, but Godwin's recent example serves a possible outcome of this type of injury.
Yeah, really tough break for the Niners there.
Yeah. So,
I mean, they've been one of the most injured teams too, with like the Bucks and all these other squads. So
yeah,
crazy. Yeah, we'll continue on that same theme with the injuries. So the Broncos place offensive lineman Matt Peart on injury reserve, promote offensive lineman Calvin Throckmorton. So for a second straight week, the Broncos will move their starting left guard to injured reserve after placing Ben Powers on the injured reserve with a biceps injury. The Broncos are sliding Matt Parrott off the 53-man roster. So a knee malady will send Parrott to injured reserve, according to 9 News Mike Cleese. They are moving veteran O-lineman Calvin Throckmorton to the 53-man roster from the practice squad in a corresponding move. Cleese adds Denver will also bump special teamer J.T. Gray to the roster from the practice squad, with Cleese adding tight end Garrett Wallow is heading to injured reserve. So Parrott is believed to have suffered the injury on the third play of the Broncos' London-based matchup against the Jets. Hart struggled in the game, committing 3 penalties, including 2 holding infractions, but was playing hurt. An otherwise healthy Broncos O-line will need to make another adjustment at left guard.
Sheesh. I mean, that's part of the game. We're week 6 in, and this is what happens. You guys are training every week, preparing every week, and injuries happen.
Yeah, unfortunate part of their game.
Yeah, that's why you have backups. Let's go over to Detroit for a moment here, and we'll finish up with the news on this one, if that's cool. The NFL suspended Lions safety Brian Branch 1 game on Monday for his role in a post-game fight following Detroit's 30-17 loss to Kansas City. The league announced that. Sorry. I'm going to start that over. The NFL suspended Lions safety Brian Branch 1 game on Monday for his role in post-game fight following Detroit's loss 30-17 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Your aggressive non-football act was entirely unwarranted, posed a serious risk of injury, and clearly violated the standards of conduct and sportsmanship expected of NFL players, the NFL Vice President of Football Operations, John Runyon, said in a letter to Branch, per the league statement. Your conduct reflected poor on the NFL and has no place in our game. Branch is appealing his 1-game ban, NFL Network Ian Rappaport reported. Branch sparked a skirmish on Sunday night when he struck Chiefs wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster in the face while following a game-ending kneel-down from Patrick Mahomes. Smith-Schuster proceeded to confront Branch, who grabbed the receiver's face mask and threw him to the ground, which sparked a larger fight that marred what had been a competitive game between 2 Super Bowl contenders. So Dan Campbell also said, "Let me start with this. I love Brian Branch, but what he did is inexcusable, and it's not going to be accepted here. It's not what we do. It's not what we're about. I apologize to Andy Reid and the Chiefs and Schuster. That's not okay. That's not what we do here, and it's not going to be okay. He knows it. Our team knows it. That's not what we do." So Branch did apologize. I did a real childish thing. Branch told reporters, "I'm tired of people doing stuff in between plays and refs don't catch it. They will be trying to bully me out there. I shouldn't have did it. It was childish." So he's been suspended and fined $34,784. And he will be coming back, looks like week 8. So
I'm assuming that amount is his game check.
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, it was just a really dumb move. I saw it live. I was like, what in the world? It was just random, uncalled for. I get you're frustrated. I get it was a tough game. You're dealing with a lot of injuries in secondary, but there's no place for that in the game. There should be no hitting, no punching, none of that stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. And to clear it up too, like, I understand that Patrick Mahomes kind of flexed on him after he came in into the end zone. I saw that. It's part of the game. People are going to talk junk. People are going to, you know what I mean? And afterwards, he tried to give him a high five on the side. He wanted to ignore him. Okay, that's fine. Schuster's going to stand up for that. And, it is what it is. But look, you got to keep your emotions in check in this game. Otherwise, you're going to lose every play if you don't keep your emotions in check, if you let it get the best of you. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So that is basically the news and notes brought to you by NorthStashHall.com and brought to you by FGM Label. If you want some sounds, you want some music, maybe just like this. then you want to go to FGM Label on Instagram. Go look them up. They have tons and tons of sounds, tons of beats to make your sound exactly what you have been dreaming of it to be. If you also want some hot sauce, maybe some honey mead or honey wine, some mead, go to norse-hall.com, based out of West Virginia. And you'll get some of the best hot sauce and mead that you can possibly find. Now, week 6, a wild week. A lot of upsets.
Was there though?
Yeah, I think there was.
Okay.
I mean,
Guess there's a handful.
Yeah, I would say we almost had ours. We put the Dolphins on for the Chargers, which almost happened, but I think at the end it's just like the Dolphins just didn't have it at the end, you know.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, you know, it was a rainy situation in Chicago. That happens too.
Yeah.
You know,
4 or 5 upsets, I guess, give or take. Depends on. I don't know. I felt like we were pretty close on the Bears one. You took Washington in the prediction, but we discussed it. I thought,
Yeah, we did.
Chicago had a really good chance to win that game, and they pulled it out. But also, the last game the Chicago played against the Raiders, they also won 25-24. Is that not weird?
Against the Raiders?
Yeah, before their bye.
Oh, okay. I was seeing where you're going with that. Okay, yeah, that's
back to back. They won 25-24, and essentially back to back games that they played.
That's pretty good.
Weird.
That's a cool stat to have.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different things that were going on, and it all started with Thursday. Let's jump into the Thursday bag. What do you say?
Yep.
All right. Let's do some reactions, baby. Let's get into it, all right? Would you like to start, or would you like me to start?
Sure, I can start. I mean, Giants pummeled the Eagles. I mean, it was a rough game for Eagles and company, and the Dart Scadaboo phenomenon is just taking over the earth, one rushing yard at a time.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm gonna start with New York. I mean, Jackson Dart went 17-25, 195 yards and a touchdown, took 2 sacks. Also got hurt, went into the medical tent. The whole state of New York, New Jersey, whatever you want to call it, don't care. They were up in arms. He came out, and their gladiator had returned. So everyone went to go check up on him in the tent. It's kind of weird. You don't usually see that.
Yo, Scadaboo came right in there. My man didn't even say anything. He just went right in.
He went right in and got kicked right out.
Yeah, he did.
So, but Scadaboo, he went 19 carries for 98 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dart was 13 for 58 with 1 touchdown. Devin Singletary 3 for 10, and Tyrone Tracy Jr.'s return 4 carries for 6 yards. So they just dominated the trenches against Philadelphia and that defense. And in the receiving game, Wan'Dale Robinson led the team. He had 7 targets, 6 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Little Jordan Humphrey, 8 targets, 4 catches, 55 yards. Theo Johnson, 4 targets, 2 catches, 27 yards. And Jalen Hyatt, 5 targets, 3 catches, 17. And Scadaboo, 2 targets, 2 catches, 12 yards. So nothing crazy in the receiving game, but they made plays when they needed to. Wan'Dale Robinson had a nice touchdown up the right sideline there. And this defense, I mean, this is the defense that you expected coming into the year. They got pressure on Jalen Hurts. They collected 3 sacks, had 7 tackles for loss, hit the quarterback 3 times. So, and you had a huge backbreaking interception by Cordell Flott. Took it 68 yards opposite direction when the Eagles were driving after halftime. So, tough day. A great day for the Giants. You had the new young blood just going out there executing, and they got to play their brand of football. On the flip side, the Eagles, Hurts went 24-33 for 283 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, took 3 sacks. Saquon Barkley, 12 carries, 58 yards. Jalen Hurts, 7 carries, 13 yards, and a touchdown. So could not get anything going on the ground game. Dallas Goedert, huge day, 11 targets, 9 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. A.J. Brown, 9 targets, 6 catches, 80 yards. Devonta Smith, 5 targets, 4 catches, 49 yards. A.J. Dillon, 2 for 18. And John Dawson, 1 for 17. And Saquon, 2 for 9 yards. So
Yeah.
A.J. Dillon had lost a fumble as they also were driving. So just a lot of mistakes on the Eagles side. Their offense just could not get anything going and looked ugly. And the Giants asserted their dominance. So when they meet again in 2 weeks, I'm sure it'll be flipped. But really great to see for the Giants. I mean, I don't know when the last time they had kind of hope like this or enjoyed watching a football game like this, you know?
Yeah, I will say this on the Giants end, little Jordan Humphrey was pushed back down to the practice squad, and the Giants are, there are rumors of them looking for another wide receiver, so they could have made room for something that might be stirring right now.
Could be. I mean, trade
I
deadline's coming up, so.
and I will say this, like, little Jordan Humphrey looked pretty good. I'm not gonna say he didn't. He dropped 1 or 2 balls, but he was getting fed, man. He was getting targets. So he wasn't like wowing anybody, but he's a big body. He was out there and he was catching. So
Former Saint and Bronco.
there you go. There you go. I'm gonna take you to the abysmal London game that you watched probably at 8:30 in the morning, and I
Yeah.
watched at 9:30 in the morning. Actually, I didn't watch it. I was playing football because I feel like I put more points on the board than my team did. But Bo Nix and the Broncos took a win off of the New York Jets, 13-11. So the Colorado Rockies beat the New York Mets 13-11, and that's what it felt like. It felt like a baseball game because that was not a football game. It was a defensive matchup. But yeah, Bo Nix, 19 for 30, 174 yards and a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins, 14 for 40. And Bo Nix had 5 for 24 on the ground. Everything else was just like nobody really got any carries. They only had 26 carries for 78 yards. Evan Ingram, 5 for 42. And Marvin Mims, 2 for 30. Nate Adkins, 2 for 23 and a touchdown. And everything was just basically, kind of abysmal. But RJ Harvey did get 4 receptions for 21 yards, in the air. So that's, kind of cool. But Troy Franklin losing the ball. Marvin Mims losing the ball. It was just kind of a real crazy game. But
Yeah, it was disgusting.
I think
Sloppy.
I think the other side though, like the Jets defense obviously stood up, but let me tell you what the Denver Broncos defense did. 9 sacks and 7 tackles for losses, okay? And 15 QB hits. 15 and 9
Is
sacks.
that good?
Well, I'll tell you if it's good because Justin Fields went 9 for 17 with 45 yards. Okay?
Yeah.
And that was it. That's what he did. Breece Hall had 22 carries for 59 yards, and Justin Fields had 7 for 31. He damn near had better, numbers running the ball than he did passing the ball. But nothing over 3 receptions. Josh Reynolds and Garrett Wilson both had 3 receptions.
And I think the big news too, didn't Garrett Wilson get hurt in that game?
He did get hurt in that game, so now they're down their alpha. They're gonna have to figure out what to do from this point on. You're also down Braylon Allen. So you're going to have to find out how to attack it from the pass game as well if you only have Isaiah Davis. Or Isaiah Davis and Breece Hall. So you're going to have to really figure this out. But look, the Jets defense did have a lot of stops and coverage. I don't want to say sacks, but they were making them throw it away. But their special teams were on point. Like that's the one thing. The special teams were just coming through. Nick Folk was kicking the ball, but that's all. And unfortunately, you need better than that. You competed against a good team at 13-11, and you got a safety because of a holding call on the Denver Broncos. But other than that, I mean, this is why the Jets are 0-6, and Denver is 4-2. So, on to the next one, and you got to see where this is going to go. It looks absolutely terrible for the Jets, but Denver still looks like that powerhouse defense. So.
Yeah, I mean, they just had a little bit slow to the start to the season, and I think they're finally catching their groove. And rest of the AFC, watch out. So,
yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Not so much.
All right, we'll go to the Cardinals and Colts. So this was actually a really fun matchup.
Yeah.
This was a lot better than I expected it to be. I won't go into all the numbers. I'll just hit a couple highlights on this. But Indiana Jones, he had another 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, threw a pick, took a sack, but he continues to play great. Jonathan Taylor continues to show that he is one of the top running backs in the league. He had over 120 rushing yards, a touchdown. Daniel Jones had a rushing touchdown as well. And the rookie phenomenon, Tyler Warren, he continues to be a main weapon for Indiana Jones in this Colts offense. He 6 catches, 63 yards and a touchdown. You got Josh Downs more involved. Kind of a small, kind of a quiet day for Michael Pittman Jr. He only had 2 catches for 20 yards. But on the flip side, you had Kyler Murray out this game, dealing with, I believe, a foot sprain. Questionable on how that happened last game. I believe it was when he got hit in the face with the football.
Which is
But
wild.
it's not. It's I don't know if that's been confirmed or not. So it's just conspiracies here. But Jacoby Brissett got the start, and he went out and started slinging it. He was 27 to 44 for 320 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Only took 2 sacks, so he was able to get everybody involved. You had Bam Knight kind of lead the backfield with 11 carries, got a touchdown. And this one, you also lost Marvin Harrison Jr. I believe he had a head injury, so he only finished the game with 2 catches, 32 yards. But our boy McBride took 11 targets, got 8 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Zay Jones got involved. So a really kind of fun back and forth game. And, I think Arizona was in it to the very end, but Indianapolis came away with a win.
I will tell you right now, I tried to make a trade for Bowers, giving up McBride. I wanted Bowers and Lamb for McBride, and then Bowers was out, so I canceled the trade.
Yeah, lucked out, huh?
I mean, I've been trying to move and groove here, try to find some different angles to do stuff, but
you're a big mover though. You like trading, huh?
not as much as some of these young kids in our league. Like they're all over the place. You know me, if I have a purpose for it, then yes, you know what I mean. Like
You're
I'll
not
try
making a
to.
move just to make a move.
No. It's the old school mentality with that,
Yeah. Is there anything
But
else that you had for the game?
yeah, Bam Knight and Michael Carter both doing things after they left the Jets. On to the next. All right. That's usually what happens
Oh, and Indiana Jones crushing it since he left the
after.
Giants.
Yeah, after he left the
So
Giants. It's just New York in general.
I guess so.
Let's head over to South Beach, where Justin Herbert flew over there with his miraculous, cool-looking LA style, and he went 29 for 38, 264 yards and 2 touchdowns with a win, 29-27 over the Miami Dolphins. So he was able to get Kamani Vidal also going with 18 carries and 124 yards, which was, I mean, I don't know if anybody expected that, but that's what happened. Ladd McConkey at the end there really solidified that game, but he had 7 receptions with 9 targets, 100 yards and a touchdown. And Kamani Vidal, again, a touchdown in the air, 3 for 14. So, and Oronde Gadsden, the second, 7 for 68. And, Keenan and Trey Harris both had 4 receptions for 27 yards. So, yeah, I mean, kind of moving the ball around here and there, just trying to get everything going. And, they were able to get 3 interceptions off of.
Well, because Vidal had such a huge day that Haskins is going to be the lead back next week.
Probably, yeah. That's probably how it goes. Yeah.
Everyone's going to spend all their fab money on trying to get Vidal in there.
Yeah.
I think they pronounce it Vidal, but I don't know.
Okay. But going over to the yeah, going over to the other side though, yeah, Tua Tagovailoa, 21 for 32, 205 yards, 1 touchdown, but 3 interceptions. I mean, that is what hits right there. 3 interceptions. Devon Achane, 16 carries and 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. He played like a stud over the weekend. And the team went 21 carries for 137 yards. So obviously, Achane was the main go-to guy. Jalen Waddle, the only touchdown pass through the air was actually to Darren Waller, who went 2 for 12 and a touchdown. But look, Jalen Waddle. This guy just keeps showing up, right? So 8 targets, 6 receptions for 95 yards, almost having a 100-yard breakout. And their defense just wasn't able to really hold back the Los Angeles Chargers. For the most part, it was. If you looked at the box score, it looked like they could have gotten ran over. But if you watched the game, it was a lot of back and forth. Herbert just couldn't get momentum for a while, and it kind of stayed stuck for a while. So it was a closer game than usual until Lad McConkey at the end there, solidified that, like 30-yard, 40-yard run down there, pass the catch, and, kind of solidified it for Los Angeles.
And Waddle also had a pretty bad drop that led to one of those interceptions when the Dolphins were driving. So not all interceptions are created equal, but tough day for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
It does. Absolutely does. You want to take us to your boys?
Yeah, we'll go to the New England Patriots visiting the New Orleans Saints. So
this is working out perfectly, by the way.
That's how we planned it. Patriots won 25-19. It was a really competitive game all the way through. The Saints had a chance to make a play to stop the Patriots at the end and just couldn't do it. But Drake May continues his ascension. He threw for 261 yards, 3 touchdowns. I'm really surprised, but they could not get a run game going. You had Drake May lead the team with 28 rushing yards. Henderson had 27, and Ramondre Stevenson was 13 carries for 18 yards. Tough day for him. But you had Kayshon Boutte coming back to the boot. The former LSU receiver had 5 catches, 2 touchdowns, 93 yards. You had Demario Douglas get involved too. So Drake May was able to spread the ball around quite a bit. They were also able to limit Stephon Diggs to 3 catches, 28 yards. So great day for New England. I think they kind of played down to the Saints competition, so to speak. But I think the Saints also kind of have been elevated in terms of their play. So because they've been in every single game through all 6 weeks. But Spencer Rattler continues to play well. Finished with 227 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Took 2 sacks. You'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive because he just seems kind of like he's too afraid to throw an interception, and instead of going for like the big play. He did last week through Rashid Shaheed, but this week it just seemed kind of not willing to pull the trigger, but he still looked good. And then in the run game, you had Kamara run for 31 yards, Kendre Miller 21 yards, Rattler put 20 on the ground, and Taysom Hill ran a touchdown in. So that's good to see. And then Olave, 6 catches, 98 yards. Kamara had 5 catches. And that's pretty much it. Very minimal production throughout the rest of the team. Juwan Johnson lost a fumble in the game. But yeah, it's a big time story of what could have been.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and Louisiana native Kayshon Boutte actually bought 40 tickets for New England's visit to New Orleans. So he came out of LSU. So
yeah, I said that he was coming back to the boot. I didn't talk about the tickets, but I did tell him he's coming back to the boot.
Yeah,
the former LSU receiver.
Good for him though, buying tickets for the game, man. People to enjoy. Let's go over to divisional games. Steelers hosting the Browns and taking a 23-9 win over the Browns, putting the Cleveland Browns to 1-5, and the Pittsburgh Steelers at 4-1. So Dylan Gabriel had kind of a rough day, 29 for 52, 221 yards, no touchdown, no interception, and they just could not get the ball rocking and rolling on the ground here. They, as a collective unit, they ran the ball 17 times for 65 yards, and that's just not what you want to do when you can't establish the run game, especially against a team like this. So, but they were able to try and get it through the air a little bit. Unfortunately, no touchdowns. But look, Harold Fannin Jr., 10 targets, 7 receptions, 81 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 13 targets, but only hauled in 5 of them for 43. And after that, it's just kind of like very, very small stuff here. Jerome Ford, 5 for 13, David Njoku, 3 for 28, and that's kind of how the rest of it kind of went with the rest of the team. So 221 in the air, and they just weren't able to get any sacks. They got a couple, 6 tackles for a loss, but it wasn't the defense that had showed up prior, in the last game. And I think that's the difference between having a bye week to think about it. And Aaron Rodgers came in and definitely gave it some thought and went 21 for 30, 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. And they spread the ball out, running the ball here. So 28 carries altogether for 100 yards. So Jaylen Warren, 11 for 52. Kenneth Gainwell, 6 for 22. And they even got Caleb Johnson in there for 6 for 15. But 9 targets to DK Metcalf. He hauled in 4 of them for 95 yards and a touchdown. And Connor Hayward actually getting a touchdown, 1 for 12 and a touchdown there. But Darnell Washington also getting 5 targets, 3 for 62. And Jonnu Smith, or Kenneth Gainwell, sorry, 6 for 14, which is a lot of receptions for not a lot of yards, but he hauled in each one of his targets. But yeah, I mean, look, the Steelers defense seemed to get after it here. They got 6 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, and 16 quarterback hits. So they were on this dude. They were on Dylan Gabriel. They were, penetrating that line, making sure that they can get through, and they made some noise, and it shows. They took that division game 23-9, and it's on to the next.
Yeah. AFC North, wild. Who would have thought that Steelers would be the only one with a winning record?
You want to take us to Rico Naudel? Because right now he's a beast.
We'll go to the Cowboys-Panthers, the all-offensive shootout. Very little defense was played in this game. But Dak continued to impress. He threw for over 260 yards, 3 touchdowns. They weren't able to get much on the run game. The Panthers defense was able to bottle up Javonte Williams. He only finished with 29 yards. We had a Pickens party. George Pickens, he had 11 targets, 9 catches, 168 yards, and a touchdown. And then very little production out of anybody else. You had Ferguson finished with 3 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown. So Dak was hyper-targeting Pickens in that CD role, and Pickens has been delivering. He looked great. But on the defensive side, you only had 1 sack, 5 quarterback hits, and you had an interception from Donovan Wilson. But on the Panthers side, the winning team, they won 30-27. Bryce Young finished at 199 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Then your boy Rico Dowdle, he finished with 30 carries, 183 yards, and he led the team in receiving with 4 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. So it's Rico and the boys, and it's really just Rico by himself, just doing it all. He's been an absolute stud over the past 2 weeks. And it's crazy that he had 183 yards and his longest rush was 15 yards. So put that in perspective.
A question with that. Could we start? We have a nickname for Rico. Can we start calling him Rico the Chico?
Why do you want to call him Rico the Chico? It's not Cheeks.
No, I'm not talking about that. But, remember, you might not even remember Razor Ramon, but he used to say Chico. You don't remember that, do you?
No.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, but he's killing it right now. And, if they can get Hubbard back and both of them can just shine, like that, they have a really good chance of having an explosive running game.
I just feel like that it's always so tough. Like last time we saw that really happen was probably Kamara, Ingram, or you had Gibbs and Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
But you got some really great offenses with those guys. I don't feel like Carolina's on that level. But before we move on to the next game, I do have to say, Teteroa McMillan, he had 2 touchdowns, 3 catches, 29 yards. So not a lot of yards, but Panthers got one. They have their number 1 receiver. He's looked great and continues to perform. So,
yeah, absolutely, they absolutely do. Let's go a little farther down south to Jacksonville, where the Jacksonville Jaguars hosted the Seattle Seahawks, and Seattle Seahawks took a win 20-12 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sam Darnold threw 16 for 27, 295 yards and 2 touchdowns, and surprisingly, they had to do it through Sam Darnold because the Seattle rushing game was not working. 26 attempts for 60 yards. But Jackson Smith Najigba, 13 targets, 8 receptions, 162 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp had a touchdown in there. He had 3 targets, 2 for 40 and a touchdown. So, and AJ Barner 3 for 71. This is kind of how it was done, and that defense showed up. 7 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss, and 17 QB hits. Like, these defenses were getting after it this weekend. They were really coming through and just trying to make an arrangement out of those quarterbacks, and made it really hard on Trevor Lawrence, even though he did pretty decent. You know, he threw 27 for 42, 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. But also, this running game couldn't get going either. 19 attempts for 59 yards as a whole. So nothing really getting going there. There was no run longer than 8 yards. So that's when you force the ball. You get Brian Thomas 10 targets, 8 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown. You get Tim Patrick even getting 1 reception for 26 yards and that touchdown. So other than that, it was pretty quiet. Travis Etienne getting 4 in the air for 28, but everything was very, very quiet. Travis Hunter 4 for 15. That's the most you're really going to hear about, is really Brian Thomas finally turning it on, finally getting some stuff done. But they only had 1 sack, 7 tackles for a loss, and 4 QB hits, and that's going to make the difference between a defense that's really getting after it and the difference between a 20-12 win. So
nice stuff. Yeah, let's go to the Rams and Baltimore Ravens. I mean, this is a game we kind of knew what it was going to be. The Rams are decimated by injuries. They're missing their quarterback, almost all their star defensive players. The Rams came away with a 17-3 win. Stafford, 181 yards and a touchdown, took 2 sacks. Kyron Williams was 13 carries, 50 yards and a touchdown. Puka Nacua got hurt in this game. I believe he has an ankle injury, so he's expected to miss some time. He finished with just 3 targets, 2 catches, 28 yards. And Higbee was the sole touchdown scorer for the Rams in the receiving game. But Rams defense, I mean, they showed up against this decimated Ravens team. They finished with 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 11 quarterback hits, and 4 pass deflections. Also got an interception and I believe recovered 2 fumbles. But yeah, so Rams, they did what they needed to do. They won the game. Baltimore, they had a quarterback change. You had Cooper Rush, who finished with 72 yards and an interception and lost a fumble. Tyler Snoop Huntley came in, threw for 68 yards, took 4 sacks. So it didn't get much better. But Derrick Henry, he came back kind of. He had 24 carries for 122 yards. Thing is, he had like 90 something at halftime. So second half, he was just a complete non-factor.
Yeah.
And it was a tough day overall for Baltimore. You had Zay Flowers paced the team with 6 catches, 46 yards. He also lost a fumble. So overall, tough day for the Ravens. Their bye week came at the perfect time. They need to regroup and get some of their troops back.
Yeah, they definitely need to reset. And speaking of reset, the Titans and Raiders, after this loss, the Raiders beating the Titans 20-10, the Titans did reset with a brand new coach, or firing a coach. And let's go through that game real quick over in Las Vegas. Cam Ward, 26 for 38, 222 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception, but sacked 6 times. And Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears just couldn't get it together. 15 carries for 65 yards. And, you had a bunch of people just trying to chip in here to get these yards going. 6 targets each for Van Jefferson and Chigakonkwo. But Van Jefferson went 4 for 75. Chigakonkwo went 6 for 46. And David Martin Robinson went one reception for 1 yard and a touchdown in there. Yeah, that was basically the only touchdown that Cam Ward was able to throw. But Cam fumbled twice in this game. There was,
one on the final drive too, I believe.
Yeah, and it's just like it's heartbreaking. But 2 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, 7 QB hits. I mean, that's one thing. But when you have another team that have studs on there like Max Crosby, they're creating 6 sacks and 7 tackles for a loss and 8 QB hits. That's a different story. And let's go over to Geno Smith, because he still looked like he struggled even though he went 17 for 23, 174 yards and a touchdown and 1 interception. But
The only difference is he won.
yeah, that's really it, And again, not for nothing, a lot of these you're going to hear this over and over again. You've been hearing it that the team just like this is the week for not getting the run game going. Like there's a lot of teams just couldn't do it. They had 32 carries for 68 yards, and the only person that kept it in the positive was Ashton Jency with 23 for 75 yards and a touchdown. So it's really, really difficult to to win games. I mean, they won it, but it's really hard to win games when you can't get the ball run correctly. And Trey Tucker had 5 targets, 5 receptions for 70 yards. Michael Mayer was in the end zone with 7 targets, 5 receptions, 50 yards, and a touchdown. And everything after that is just kind of slided. Jacoby Myers 4 for 39, and just small stuff for Ashton Jenty in the air. But it was. We said that it was probably going to be a game that nobody really wanted to watch, and that was kind of what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, a game that nobody wanted to watch, but was actually more exciting, that involved a run game, was the Green Bay Packers and Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, it was.
So the Packers won 27-18. Jordan Love, he finished with 259 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. He continues to just throw the ball down the field. Like he's got explosive plays all over the field. It's great. I mean, you would like the Packers to continue to put on more points and not necessarily play down their opponents or whatnot. But I do think the Packers are in a great position, especially if Love can continue to push the ball down the field. But as a team, they ran for 33 carries, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Both touchdowns coming from Josh Jacobs, who almost put up 100 yards. He put up 93. And he spread the ball around. Matthew Golden had a small coming out party, 5 targets, 3 catches, 86 yards. And then he spread the ball around. Tucker Kraft got in the end zone. So defense didn't do as good as I thought they were going to against Bengals and Joe Flacco on a short week. They just acquired him, and they only had 5 quarterback hits, 3 pass deflections, 1 sack, 5 tackles for loss. But Cincinnati, with new old man Flacco, 29-45, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, only took 1 sack. Didn't look too bad. He was able to move the ball. First half, abysmal. Second half, showed some life. No run game. They finished as a team 16 carries, 55 yards. But Jamar Chase led the team. He had 12 targets, 10 catches, 94 yards, and a beastly touchdown where he basically used all of his strength at the catch point to just wrestle the ball out of the hands of the defender. I think it was Valentine. And it was great touchdown. It was good to see that. Good to see him fighting. And you had Higgins that had 5 catches, 62 yards. They also lost their tight end in the game, Gesicki, so he's going to be out for a while. So I believe Noah Fant is their one tight end that's healthy right now. But Cincinnati's defense, they played well. They had 1 sack, 6 pass deflections, 4 quarterback hits. They also intercepted Jordan Love. So you got to see some life from Cincinnati, and now they're on a short week playing the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday night. So we'll see what old man Flacco can do.
Look, it's going to be old man Rodgers and old man Flacco. So that's not for nothing.
Is this the oldest quarterback matchup in history?
It could be. I mean, what's Joe Flacco's age?
I think they're both like 40, 41.
Let me see. 40 years old, Joe Flacco, and $41. So 40 and 41 years old, and
that has to be up there, dude.
I'm gonna tell you now. I think that this is gonna be a crazy game.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No. I mean, it wouldn't matter anyway. I'm not gonna tell you who I think, but I just think it's gonna be a high scoring game. That's all. Bengals just don't have a defense, man. They just don't really have.
Yeah, they had a defense. Their defense actually did okay against the Packers.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I just think Rodgers is going to try to throw it on him. And it's going to force Flacco to try to throw it back on the Steelers, which you've been able to do early in the season. I don't know. We'll figure it out, and it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, it'll be an interesting game. Let's see. Let's go to the solid game to watch. 49ers and the Buccaneers. You know what? I'm gonna let you take this one because
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you like Baker.
I can't. No, it's okay. I don't.
Okay.
They're gonna start thinking that I'm just a Baker fan. Like, no, it's okay.
All right. So
I'm not the only one on the show that likes Baker. All right, guys.
no, I'm a fan. I am a fan. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosted the San Francisco 49ers, taking a win 30-19, putting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-1 and San Francisco 49ers at 4-2. So let's go to the San Francisco side first. Mac Jones went for 27 for 39, 347 yards, but 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, again, look, he got a touchdown in there, was 17 for 54 as a collective whole. 22 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown for San Francisco rushing. Again, another team that just could not run the ball this week. Kendrick Bourne, 9 targets, 5 receptions for 142 yards. And Jake Tongs just continues to just put up stats, nothing crazy, but 6 for 58. That's he continues to stand in there as the sub there for
Kittle should be back this week.
Okay. And then Christian McCaffrey, 8 targets for 7 receptions and 57 yards. And that's pretty much it. Everything else was just kind of spread around here and there. And Mac Jones fumbled the ball once, and their defense just could not really get to the quarterback. You know what I mean? Not many QB hits, not many sacks, and not many TFLs. So, but when you go over to the Bucs side, Baker didn't really have to throw it so much. He went 17 for 23, 256 yards and 2 touchdowns. They collectively went 26 for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, with Rashad White as 17 for 65 and a touchdown. Sean Tucker 6 for 25 and a touchdown, and Baker with 3 for 14. Once Egbuka kind of got hurt in this game, Cameron Johnson kind of turned it on. He hauled in all 4 targets of his all 4 targets, getting 4 receptions for 64 yards and a touchdown. Sterling Shepard was peppered in there, 2 for 51. But Cade Otton, that good old reliable, 6 targets, 5 for 51 yards, and Tez Johnson caught a massive reception, 45-yard bomb from Baker Mayfield, who just laid it right on Tez Johnson for 45-yard touchdown, and it just looked absolutely beautiful. So look, they were able to get 6 sacks, 5 tackles for a loss, and 10 QB hits, and that's kind of the difference there, getting 2 interceptions, and they were able to pull it off again. Just unfortunately Fred Warner really got hurt in this, and that can make a little bit of a, I would say, an easier challenge not having Fred Warner out there, but not giving that excuse for the Buccaneers to win, because it was a solid game to watch for most of the game. So
I mean, I think this is an all injured matchup too, because the Bucs are down multiple linemen, multiple receiving threats. You just got Baker and the boys just out there, doing their thing. And on the Niners side, they're missing their starting quarterback, tight end, multiple receivers, almost the entire defense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is all injured matchup, and there's just depending on who could come out with the well-deserved win,
Yeah. You want to take us to Sunday night?
The highest, I've been waiting all day, man, for the highest, very anticipated Lions-Chiefs Sunday night game. But the Chiefs ended up winning 30-17, and I just never felt like it was really that close. I mean, the Detroit defense is riddled with injuries. They're down, I think, 6 of their top 7 corners. They were on the field for a lot of the game, but you had Goff, 23-29, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, only took 1 sack. Their ground game couldn't really get going. You had Gibbs, who finished with 65 yards, Montgomery, 24 yards. And in the receiving game, pretty quiet day. I mean, you had Amon-Ra St. Brown have 9 catches, 45 yards, got a couple touchdowns to Jameson Williams and Sam Laporta, but it just seemed like the defense struggled quite a bit, and the offense just, once they got behind, I felt like they couldn't really lean on their run game, and they had to go to the air, which kind of played in the Chiefs' favor.
Yeah.
So we I felt like we got vintage Mahomes here. He looked great. 22 of 30, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, took 3 sacks. He's been playing really well because he also has that rushing upside. He had 32 yards on the ground and a touchdown. You had Pacheco finished with 51 yards. Kareem Hunt got 23. But also Travis Kelce continues to actually perform. He had 7 targets, 6 catches, 78 yards. You had Juju Smith-Schuster finished 57 yards. Hollywood Brown, 2 touchdowns, 45 yards. And Xavier Worthy got into the end zone on 2 catches, 20 yards, and touchdown. But overall, Chiefs look dominant. They look like they're playing really well. And they get the number 1 receiver back this week. Rashee Rice is off the suspended list, so he will be back to reclaim his throne within the Chiefs' kingdom.
Yep, I've been waiting for him to come back. So now we'll see what happens in the fantasy football realm here. Let's move on to Monday night. Bills going down to Atlanta to play the Falcons, and let me tell you, the Falcons defense just had their way with Josh Allen on Monday. And
that's Ulbrich, baby.
Yeah, and that forced Josh Allen to go 15 for 26, 180 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 4 sacks. Okay. Even though James Cook started to get it going, during that second half, 17 carries for 87 yards. And then Josh Allen actually doing some stuff with his feet, 6 for 42. Not a lot going on in the air here. You're talking most receptions were, they were targeted 5 or 6 times, but 3 receptions, 33 yards, or 2 receptions for Josh Palmer, 60 yards. There weren't a lot of nothing over 3, and that's because they did not let him get settled. He fumbled twice, Josh Allen, and it was just really hard to watch. Not for nothing, it was very, very hard to watch, and they did not let him get comfortable, did not let him get his feet set. He looked like he hasn't seen pressure in a very long time. He looked like he didn't know what to do again for the first time. Just kind of, I know sometimes you can easily chuck it to the next person, but he panicked and chucked it like he hasn't seen pressure in a long time. And I don't want to say that he's gotten comfortable because I don't believe that, but I think he got a little bit of a taste of getting punched in the mouth again. Like, oh shit, like wake up. You know what I mean?
So, well, also, there was one play in the game. I don't remember if it was in the second or third quarter, but he took a sack and he landed pretty hard on his right arm. Do you think maybe there might have been some sort of injury or something that kind of was bothering him, which sped up his processing and made him look like he was kind of reverting back?
I mean, yeah, it's a possibility. Maybe he was maybe he just didn't want to get hit again or slam to the ground on that shoulder or that arm again, depending. Hopefully, maybe he was in protection mode at that point. But yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Josh Allen in a little bit of
well, their schedule's been super soft to start the year too. If you really look at it,
yeah, they got one of the easiest schedules.
Yeah, I mean, who was their signature win? I guess the Ravens, week 1 when they were healthy.
Yeah,
and outside of that, I mean,
week 1's always fluky. You never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they had to come back from quite a bit, so that was interesting. But kudos to the Falcons. I mean, the first time they've been on Monday night since 2017, and they really brought the heat. They played great. As much as it hates me to say,
yeah,
they looked really good.
Yeah, Michael Penix, he went 20 for 32, 250 yards and a touchdown. Bijan Robinson went out of his mind, 19 for 170 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Algier had 10 for 32 and a touchdown. Collectively, they went 32 carries for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Michael Penix just hyper targeting Drake London. 16 targets, 10 receptions, 158 yards and a touchdown. Bijan also got 6 receptions for 68 yards. And then you had Kyle Pitts 3 for 18 and Tyler 1 for 6. But
did you watch any of this game? Did you get to see most of it or not?
Yeah, I was able to watch it.
So that play at the end of the second half was huge. not only for in the game, but also for fantasy purposes. When Drake London almost scored that second touchdown, they
Yeah.
had just stepped out. Like, oh, as a
Yeah.
Drake London manager, that was that one hurt because I needed a huge day from him, and I
Yeah.
got that. But I also needed a big day from Josh Allen, which I did not get. So
Yeah.
but
I thought he
nobody
was gonna turn it up the second half, but I'll tell you this right now, like they sacked him 4 times, but Penix. But this could drive a they're I'm sorry, they sacked Josh Allen 4 times, but this could drive Josh Allen a little crazy or any quarterback crazy. 9 pass deflections. Okay? Now,
Mhm.
if you're telling me that you've completed 15 passes out of 26, but out of 26 passes, 9 of them were deflected. You know what I mean? That's going to mess with your head a little bit. You know, you're talking about, closer to 40% of the passes are just getting batted away, batted away. Like, what else can I do? That can really change your mindset during this game. And I think they did a really good job of being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, also think that the injuries and the pass catching and the receiving game for the Bills really hurt. I mean, you lost Josh Palmer during the game. I believe Curtis Samuel was out. Dalton Kincaid was out. So you're short on weapons. I think
Yeah.
they might look into bringing another weapon in this receiving threat because I mean, you're going forward. You're gonna rely on Shakir, Elijah Moore, and Dawson Knox as
Yeah.
your top receiving threats. Like they're okay, but I mean, if you're going to be a serious Super Bowl contender, I think you need to add another element, another guy in there.
Yeah, you're gonna need to make something happen here. And that's look, the Giants are in the same boat. The Bills are in the same boat. Right now, the Jets are in that same boat. Um, they're kind of just missing their alpha right now, and they got to figure out a way. And the Bills usually figure out a way to do it, but I think they've been pretty lucky. I don't want to say lucky. They've been pretty fortunate with having multiple number 2 wide receivers and not really having that alpha since Diggs had left,
Yeah.
and they've been able to do it. But now it's starting to show up. Like, hey, maybe we do need somebody here. So, or maybe a change of something.
It won't
So,
hurt.
no, won't hurt. You want to wrap us up on the last Monday night game?
Yeah, the final game of Week 6. You have the Chicago Bears visiting the Washington Commanders. Uh, Bears won 25-24. You had the second matchup between the 2024 QB1 and QB2.
Mm-hmm.
But Bears squeaked away with a win. The 1-point victory. Caleb Williams. I think before I get into their stats and everything, I think the big tail of the game that you really saw that affected it was one, the weather, and also the turnover margin. I mean, Commanders had 3 turnovers, Bears had 0 turnovers. So that's always going to give you a leg up when you're getting more possessions. But Caleb Williams, he took care of the ball with 17-29, 252 yards, a touchdown, took 3 sacks. You had DeAndre Swift, looked great. He finished with 108 yards on the ground, 67 yards to the air, and a touchdown. And I think you got to see Caleb Williams kind of continue to grow, to maneuver through the pocket, to not take so many sacks, right? So I think that's been a conscious effort from Ben Johnson and his staff to get through to Caleb to make sure that, hey, if it's not there, you can run around it for a little bit, but dump it off or, find your check down. So it's good to see, but their defense, they actually finished with 2 quarterback hits, 3 pass deflections, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. And they had that big interception from the underthrown ball from Jane Daniels. But overall, I mean, the Bears, they're continuing to improve and get better. But on the flip side, you had Washington. Jane Daniels went 19-26, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He also took those 3 sacks. But you had Bill, 17 carries, 61 yards. He also lost a fumble. Jane Daniels was 10 for 52. He was able to get involved, use his legs quite a bit, and he looked like he had his juice back. He looked like he's fully healthy, ready to go. Little disappointing performance from Debo. I know he's been injured. He's got that heel injury and whatnot. He had 1 carry for negative 1 yards, 4 catches for 15 yards. So it was a little disappointing performance from him. You had Chris Moore actually lead the team in receiving with 3 catches, 46 yards, and a touchdown. And Old Man Ertz, 6 targets, 6 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. So he looked good. And Luke McCaffrey, his 3rd touchdown in, I believe, 4 weeks. 1 catch, 33 yards, and a touchdown. So he got open on that blown coverage. But overall, really good matchup. Like I said, the weather was a factor. That final play, not final play, but the final drive for Washington with the botched exchange between Bill and Jane Daniels really, really hurt them and kind of
Yeah.
decided the game. So, but I think overall, great fun week, and it's good to see the Bears coming on top.
Yeah, just another one of those kind of we discussed it, but one of those kind of spoilers. Nobody really expecting them to do too much. Everybody kind of looks at them as the same old Bears, I guess. But look, all they had to do was keep the ball, and look, Mother Nature had a different story, and Jalen Daniels couldn't really get a grip of it, couldn't really hand it off correctly, and that changed the narrative of the game at the end, and that initially gave them a chance to come in and win the game. So, good for them. You know what I mean? Because not only when our opportunities are given to you, you have to take them and create points out of it. So it's not just like, oh, well, that happened because of that. Well, you also got to execute when you get the ball. So
yeah, and I got shouts out to Jake Moody. Getting cut from 49ers after being a high draft pick for them. Kind of went through his struggles, and he went 3 for 4 on field goals.
Yeah,
because their Cairo Santos is injured right now, but good for him rising to the occasion and getting it done. He had that one low kick that got blocked, but overall clean operation in the kicking game, and really proud of him for going through adversity and playing well. So kudos to him.
Yeah, it's he came in and that game was won because of him. You know what I mean? Like it happened.
Yeah.
So good for them. And I mean that week 6 was something that I think nobody really had. I'm pretty sure you didn't have a lot of these games on your bingo card. Wins and losses the way they did, under overs for whoever bet on the under overs on running and rushing ability, probably took some hard losses over this weekend. So, it's the one weekend where, Derrick Henry comes back, gets 120 something yards, and then everybody else falls to the wayside. It's almost like he sucked the power out of everybody else so he can get the power to get his numbers back up, and nobody else could really run the ball except for, Bijan and Dowdle and a couple other people. So, and Christian McCaffrey, but it is what it is. So we'll see how that goes. But your reactions, your week 6 reactions, that's what it is. Brought to you by Norse-Hall.com and FGM Label. You guys want some hot sauce? Make sure you go over there and go get some hot sauce, some mead, and if you want some tunes, go to FGM Label. If you guys have not yet, make sure that you guys follow us at Top Dog Coverage on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Okay, make sure you guys are hitting that like button, allowing that alert button to stay on notification, because we're getting more and more stuff getting pumped out to you guys. And also, we've had a couple fans email us at topdogcoverage, TOPDAWG coverage at gmail.com. If you guys have maybe a football story, or maybe it could be random if you want, you know what I mean? We'll read it on the show. Some fantasy football lineups. What do you guys think? Some fantasy football trades. Let us know, and we will, we'll read it on the show. And we love having our fans interact. That's what we like, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, I think week 6 is out of the way. Week 7, what can we expect here? Week 7, C-Dub.
I think more craziness. Like I said, Rashee Rice is back. You have a handful of teams on bye week with the Bills and a couple other squads too, I believe. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I haven't really got a chance to look at the schedule to see who plays who, but I know at least the Thursday game we're due for a divisional matchup, so should be fun.
Indeed. So if anything, guys, make sure that you follow us, Top Dog Coverage, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Stay connected with us. Swipe up if you're on Spotify and Apple. Make sure you leave a comment, hit the 5 stars, and that will do it for us. But until we get to your week 7 predictions, we hope that you have a lovely rest of your day. We hope that you guys sleep well, get some rest in, because we got week 7 coming faster than you know it. Me and C-Dub, we're out, baby. Peace.
Peace.